This video is about comparative and superlative adjectives and adverbs. I'm Christy Reyes. A quick review about what adjectives are. Adjectives describe nouns or pronouns. They can tell the number, like some, few, personal opinions about the quality, appearance, or value, such as good, bad, beautiful, plain, ugly, important, good, great, expensive. They can tell the size of something: big, small, large, enormous. The form or shape: round, cylindrical, etc. The age: new, old, young, antique. And the color of something as well. Let's look at comparative spelling rules. When we are comparing two people, places, or things, we need to change the adjective a little bit. So in the first group, the words cheap, small, fast, and slow, the comparatives are cheaper, smaller, faster, and slower. Because these adjectives all have only one syllable, all we need to do is add ER at the end. Number 2, big, thin, and hot become bigger, thinner, and hotter. There's something extra we need to do with the spelling, however. Because these three adjectives have one syllable and the final three letters are a consonant, vowel, consonant, we need to double the final consonant before we add ER. So we need to add another G for bigger, another N, and another T before we add the ER for these three adjectives. Next, number 3. Large becomes larger and wide becomes wider. All we need to do is add a final R because we already have an E at the end of the word. Number 4. These adjectives pretty, easy, happy, and busy become prettier, easier, happier, and busier. But for the spelling, what we need to do is change the final Y to IER. That happens when we have a consonant plus a Y. The last spelling rule, number 5, is for words that are rather long, more than 2 syllables, like interesting, beautiful, handsome, intelligent, expensive. What we need to do for the comparative forms of those adjectives, because they are more than one syllable, we need to add more in front. So we would say more interesting. There are a few irregular comparative adjectives. These you just need to memorize. Good, the comparative is better. Bad, the comparative is worse. Far, farther. Now let's move on to superlatives. A superlative is when you are comparing one with many others in a group, and that one is somehow extraordinary or special or very different from the others. The first rule is for spelling with these adjectives: old, young, new, and small. What we need to do is add the word the with EST at the end: the oldest, the youngest, the newest, the smallest. Number 2, big, hot becomes the biggest and the hottest. As you recall, these types of words have one syllable, consonant, vowel, consonant, so we need to double the final consonant before adding EST to the end. One thing to note is we never double W, X, or Y. Next, number 3 for the superlatives. Large becomes the largest, and wide becomes the widest. Because these two words already have a final E, all we need to do is add ST at the end. Number 4, easy, happy, sunny become the easiest, the happiest, the sunniest. You know what we need to do. A final consonant plus Y needs to be changed to IEST. We drop the Y and add those letters. And then number 5, difficult, confusing, expensive. Because these adjectives are more than one syllable long, what we need to do is say the most. The most difficult, the most confusing, the most expensive. We add the word the most in front of longer adjectives to make the superlative form. There are irregular superlative adjectives. They're the same as comparatives. Good, if it is the number one, it is the best. Bad, the worst. Far, the farthest. We need to just memorize those. Let's move on to comparative and superlative adverbs. The adverbs we're going to be looking at here are mostly adverbs of manner. Okay, so we have the word carefully. He drives carefully. But if we're comparing his driving to her driving, we could say she drives more carefully than he does. Slowly is another adverb. I work slowly, but you work more slowly. Lovingly, she cares for her patients. Here we need a superlative. Of all the nurses at the clinic, what would we put here? She cares for her patients the most lovingly of all the nurses. Happily, they are the most happily married people I have ever met. So the last two you see are superlative adverbs. So a little bit about the comparative and superlative adverb rules. For comparative adverbs, we just add more at the front. She drives more carefully than he does. For superlative adverbs, we add the words the most. She cares for her patients the most lovingly of all the nurses at the clinic. Let's review adjective versus adverb. Remember that good is an adjective. This food tastes good. The comparative is better. It tastes better than the meal I had yesterday. The superlative is the best. It is the best food I've ever eaten. Well is an adverb. He is a great chef. He cooks better than the chef at the other restaurant down the street. So better is the comparative of well. He cooks the best of any chef in the world. The best is also the superlative for well and good, as you see here. Bad is an adjective. I had a bad experience yesterday. Yesterday was worse for me than the day before. And my experience yesterday was the worst experience I have ever had in my life. Badly is the adverb form. The teacher sings badly. The comparative is worse. She sings worse than my previous teacher. The superlative for badly is the worst. She sings the worst of anyone I have ever heard. What if they are equal? In that case, we use this construction as, adjective as, or as adverb as. For example, as cute as tall as friendly as slowly as fast as. That's how we can express the things are equal. Do you have any questions? If so, bring them to class. See you soon.